Now, today is a kind of a strange day liturgically speaking, is it not? I mean, it's a solemnity. This year falls on a Sunday, which makes it, in a way, extra special. But in a way, it's also kind of generic, because we venerate all the saints, all those in that happy group whose name are known to God and their heavenly company alone, as we hear in the first reading. It is like the beautiful description in the letter to the Hebrews, which speaks of us being surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses, that great multitude which no one could count, which only really serves to make things seem even more nebulous for us. So just what have the saints, that church triumphant, to do with us here, the church on earth? Now those dearly departed have already finished their fight, while we here, as Venerable Pope Pius XII reminds us, belong to the church militant. And she is militant because on earth the powers of darkness are ever restless to encompass her destruction. Not only in far-off centuries of the early church, but down through the ages, and in this our day, the enemies of God and Christian civilization make bold to attack the Creator's supreme dominion and sacrosanct human rights. So yes, we are in for a fierce battle here on earth. From where shall come our help? I think the problem lies in the fact that it's kind of hard for us to wrap our mind around all these saints in all that heaven. When a loved one dies, we say we'll meet them again in heaven. But we don't really say how we will see them and know them there. Heaven, for many of us, just seems to be more of the same thing, maybe a little better. Our imaginations can only imagine heaven really as a kind of earth, minus all the vermin, natural disasters, and bad hair days. But what do the saints do there, up there all day anyway, or all eternity rather? Is it just playing harps? Is it just shining their halos? No. And we cannot even begin to describe it, which is our great disadvantage from this earthly vantage point. St. Paul says, "Eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has the heart of man even imagined what God has prepared for those who love him." So we're going to have to go to the saints who wrote while they were still here on this earth. St. Augustine once wrote this beautiful prose from the vantage point of his saintly mother in heaven, Monica. He has her speak these words: "If you love me, do not weep. If you only knew the gift of God and what heaven is. If only you could hear the angel songs from where you are and see me among them. If you could only see before your eyes the eternal fields with the horizons and the new paths in which I walk. If only you could contemplate for one moment the beauty that I see, beauty before which all others fail and fade." Now, if I were to stop here, we might be tempted to say, well, that's all well and good for Saint Monica up there. But what about us down here? Well, listen again as St. Augustine continues in her voice, saying, "Why do you who saw me and loved me in the land of shadows? Why do you think you will not see me and love me again in the land of unchanging realities? Believe me when death breaks your chains as it has broken mine. When, on the day chosen by God, your soul reaches heaven, where I have preceded you, then you will see her who loved you and still loves you. You will find her heart the same, her tenderness even purer than before. God forbid that on entering a happier life, I should become less loving, unfaithful to the memories and joys of my other life. You will see me again transfigured in ecstasy and happiness, no longer waiting for death, but ever hand in hand with you, walking in the new paths of light and life. slaking my thirst to the full at the feet of God from a fount of which no one tires, and which you will come to share with me. Wipe away your tears, and if you love me truly, weep no more. Now, heaven's saints, my brothers and sisters, are away from us in body, yes, but in spirit, no. Now, all these saints, they have finished their race. They have fought their own good fight. They have struggled with their own defects and repented of their sins in a final and definitive act. And now, as we heard St. Monica, they love us much more clearly, much more purely than we could expect here on earth. So perchance your dearest family member, perchance your guardian angel, perchance anonymous saints are cheering and interceding for each of us right here, right now. Now, did not St. Thomas More teach us, considering that when the saints lived in this world, they were at liberty to roam the earth? Do you really think that in heaven, God would have them tied to a post? No, I say nonsense. They are capable of doing more than we can imagine. Did not St. Therese of Lisieux tell us that she would spend her heaven doing good upon earth? Do you think that she's going to be the only one working, with the rest of the angels and saints just watching her work, as if she were part of some celestial road crew? No. Remember that great cloud of witnesses which no one could count? They're neither ephemeral nor shadows. They are more alive, more real in a sense than any one of us. So as Hebrews says, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Let us go in our own time, in that day chosen by God. Join them. That is their secret. Do not give up. Keep at it. That is their secret, perseverance and fortitude. Be not afraid to ask for their help. If you remember nothing else from today, remember this, that the saints are our friends and allies. Before you can finish speaking your words, they do it. They too were and are human, very human with all their idiosyncrasies. But what they are not is static, because love is not static. Love is dynamic. Love will do anything in its power to acquire the beloved, and the beloved is you, child of God. Now, as for us, the first one to reach heaven and join that long litany of saints, that heavenly host, then it shall be your job to help pull the rest of us up and get as many other helpers to lend a hand. Let's help one another. No one here left behind. Deal? Deal.